Hi, welcome to ASEAN Kita with me, Farhan Hakimi, and today is a very exciting topic to discuss about. We are tuning into a very exciting topic, the rising rhythm of concert opportunities across the ASEAN region. And from vibrant festivals to major international tours, concerts have the power to unite cultures, boost economies, and also place ASEAN firmly on the global music stage. And joining us virtually this morning is an industry leader who is at the forefront of bringing world-class entertainment to Southeast Asia. We are with Paramanathan Rajagopal, Managing Director of Live Nation. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about the global live music industry. We know it's experiencing a shift, and ASEAN has emerged as a major player. So, with a young music-loving population, rising disposable, incomes, and also world-class venues, the region is now a key stop for global tours. So, beyond just a demand, what factors are truly driving ASEAN's rise as a concert hotspot?
Yeah, thank you, Farhan. Very good question because I think the global touring landscape was very much
Mm-hmm.
different before the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
and just after 3 years or maybe 4 years back, where we see these unprecedented impact of demand
Mm-hmm.
for to the region, where all the industry players need to actually step up and rise to keep up with the demands of the fans in this region, and that created a major shift of how global tours are planned nowadays, where more and more artists are coming to Asia first and then going to Europe and US because they see the growth here is almost unprecedented, and the demands are very high for all kind of I, either you take K-pop or Western or even Asian shows, Japan, all kind of genres. I think because of ASEAN alone has got about almost a billion people
Mm-hmm.
in the region. So that makes it attractive because of the sheer number of population. But again, the challenges remain quite the same because we feel that the infrastructure needs to be improved in the cities of ASEAN to create better venue experiences for the fans. So that's the challenge that we are facing now because of the over demand.
Mm-hmm.
We are basically primarily using sports venues rather than a more customized event venues. So it's a bit different for us to actually remodel the sports venues for our concerts sometimes. That's the challenge.
Yeah, and some argue that despite ASEAN's growing reputation as a concert destination, uh, event planning across multiple countries remains a complex process. So differences in regulations, infrastructure, and logistics, which could create challenges for promoters and artists alike. So how can ASEAN nations work together to make cross-border concert planning more seamless?
Yeah, I think there's surely real opportunity for all governments in ASEAN to look at how tourism ministries, immigration, and logistics can come together and have a similar visa program for artists to tour, and like they have it in Europe, and in UK, where artists can go into maybe from France to Italy without really going through a lot of immigration process. So I think it's an opportunity for ASEAN countries to governments to speak to each other and see how we can improve, and we can actually have a dialogue session with the players from the industry players to assist the government. What are the policies, the changes that we can make for immigration, logistics, and also certain aspect of how we can also promote the region to other artists and other fans from other countries coming into ASEAN. To when we did Coldplay, when we did Blackpink, when we did also the current Dua Lipa, we had almost 20 to 30% traveled into KL for the shows. So that's a big economic impact and boost for Malaysia during that period.
So, are there any countries in the ASEAN regions that is deemed as best at having a concert which we can emulate?
I'm sure this is not a hidden secret. I think
Yeah,
Singapore,
Singapore, right?
Singapore always they are kind of a step ahead of most of the ASEAN cities because of the infrastructure. They build it for for the future, maybe 50
Mm-hmm.
years ahead or 30 years ahead, to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that they are able to cope with the changes and the demands of the future. So
Yeah.
I think they one of the example is like the Taylor Swift exclusive show in Singapore, which
Yeah.
created a big buzz in the ASEAN, among the ASEAN prime ministers, and how they were complaining to each other why Taylor Swift not going to their countries and all that. So, but it is a way how Singapore has already positioned themselves, that they want to be the leading country in ASEAN. They want to take lead. They want to do things that a bit more different from the other neighbors, and they are kind of basically working ahead of our the neighbors. So so the neighbors need to either learn or keep up or understand what are the policies are in place, what kind of tourism dollars they are putting into to invest to attract all these big global superstars to their country. So I think that there's a lot Malaysia and Singapore can do together, because we are the closest neighbors, and we should have more exchanges of point of views, ideas, and also policies to understand how how much we can close the gap between Singapore and Malaysia. When it comes to touring acts.
Yeah, and then also I want to relate this with Malaysia's ASEAN chairmanship this year. So,
Yeah.
leadership within ASEAN brings opportunities to shape policies that impact multiple industries, including entertainment. But as Malaysia takes the chair in 2025, it has the potential to champion regional initiatives that enhance concert infrastructure and accessibility. So, what do you think? What are the specific steps can Malaysia take to drive this progress?
I think first of all, I think there needs to the either the ASEAN chairmanship committee
Mm.
needs to look into the pillars of their chairmanship and understand what exactly they want to champion and what they want to improve in ASEAN. I'm not sure if tourism and its products. I think entertainment is a product of tourism, and I think it should have some significant recognition after the amount of media highlights and the media excitement that we bring to the mix of creating the buzz for people to travel and experience Malaysia. I think the most important thing is for me is the approval policies for the artists to perform.
Mm.
It kind of the rules to one ASEAN country, the other ASEAN country, it's almost similar, but I think some countries have got a bit more openness in certain areas of how artist is approved and how artist is censored and all that. That's one. Number two will be, of course, infrastructure. Venues are becoming a challenge in most, even Indonesia or Thailand. We have limited amount of venues in those countries. Singapore, of course, they are able to have a venue which is the roof can be closed, So we do, and the weather today is mostly it rains, or it is unpredictable. So having a large venue with a roof, it's very kind of comfortable for the fans to watch it out, like a large scale concert in a indoor kind of a setting. So that's is one of the reasons why a lot of these large shows can happen there in Singapore. So these are the key points. I think policies, visa, immigration, venue, infrastructure, and of course, how we can kind of attract more fans to travel to each other country a lot more seamlessly and easily, So, and also not only like looking at international artists. I think we should also promote our local ASEAN artists with these global tours. So some of these acts can open up for like Lady Gaga is coming to Singapore, and if they can attract some Malaysian artists to open for one of Lady Gaga's show, that'll be great, because she's going to play 6 or 7 nights. So these are the understandings that we can champion, and to export culture and music and friendship and peace and harmonious spirit among the ASEAN countries.
Do you personally foresee ASEAN becoming a primary destination for major music festivals in the next 5 years? And what must be done to achieve this?
Actually, if you really look at the history of what has been going on in ASEAN, most of the cities are already hosting international festivals and headline acts already for the last 20, 30 years. But the issues remain the same because of the effort, and most of the time the effort is done by some individual companies or individual promoters, and we do lack the support of some real clear support from the government. I think most promoters face the similar kind of issues in their countries. But I think some countries are beginning to realize that they want to be part of it. They are beginning to give a lot of assistance, in a sense, grant, or maybe venue development. They're going behind these promoters to assist them, and hopefully we can see some improvement over the next coming years, that we will have some world-class venues for events, some world-class experience halls for events and all that. So I think the venues in Malaysia specifically has been built for the Commonwealth Games in 1997, and there has been some upgrade process, but it's still very sports focused and not entertainment focused, so that there is some logistical challenges that we have to face during a large scale event. So these are the things that I hope that governments of every country can get together and find out how we can combine our forces to look at how ASEAN can be a center for touring and also large scale events in this region.
How does ASEAN's concert market growth compare to regions like North America?
I think the market growth is very positive because I think we are a young, and basically most of the population is beginning to now embrace concert going, buying tickets, having experience. So I think that there is a huge market growth in ASEAN. Most of our age group, the demographics between 14 onwards to the 28 years old, they are quite digitally savvy. So they are able to buy tickets quickly, or they experience their artists. They follow their artists to Spotify, the music, and so it's a whole ecosystem that I think very encouraging for the ASEAN region, because I think we spend our life a lot on the digital landscape, and most of the music today is all on the digital landscape. So that we are seeing a huge growth in the music, what even from listenership to ticket sales and merchandise, and the ecosystem of live industry is actually growing quite significantly in ASEAN.
And the pandemic also, accelerated a shift, in the concert industry with, virtual and also hybrid formats, opening up new possibilities for artists and fans alike. So while live shows are making a strong comeback, digital engagement remains a powerful tool as well. So how can ASEAN promoters, innovate to capitalize on this evolving trend?
I think the reality is that there is no, I would say, you can't really replace a live experience, because going to a live concert is not just being there to watch their favorite artist, but it's the whole, preparation, the engagement, the whole journey.
The
You got
ambience.
the fan journey, and then you got your friends, you got your, together you meet other fans from other part of the world. It's a different
Experience.
experience when you really think the way that how concerts were accepted in the 70s and the 80s. And now it's a very different thing. They got the friendship band for the Taylor Swift fans. There's a lot of pre-event and post-event activities that becomes a very big thing for fans in when they're going for concerts today. So I think streaming will always remain very, very much for in a situation where you can't get there, or you can't be there, or the show is not coming to your city, and so I think that will be one of the options when you can't get a ticket. I think the current Coldplay show in India, I think they were like almost 5 million people trying to buy tickets, so that is quite a ridiculous thing to do. So they did have a streaming show for the fans in India through the Disney Channel or something like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I think it is always a possibility for streaming and live to be able to exist together as part of the ecosystem, and also create that different experience for people who just want to watch the events from home, or they just want to buy it on demand and whatever it is. But live will still be irreplaceable, and I think fans want to choose to go live first, before they choose to stream.
So, like you mentioned earlier, the concert industry is, more than just entertainment. So, it is also an economic driver that, fuels tourism, creates jobs, fosters cultural exchange. So, with ASEAN's music scene expanding, how significant could its impact be on both, on the region's broader economic and cultural landscape?
Yeah, I think the best study we all had done is actually when Taylor Swift came to Singapore, and it contributed almost 500 million Singapore dollars to the GDP. So and there's a lot of things online we can all go and look at it, from how Bloomberg also made some documentary about it, and so there is enough data to get governments or tourism agencies, or to get them interested in trying to make this a serious tourism product for them, and also create a more seamless, business activity for the promoters. But I think we need to have some amount of political will from the top leaders or the top management to say that we want to do this and this is how the direction is, and we have to get it done from start to beginning. And I think there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of excitement when things happen, but I think action will speak louder, and you can see the countries that are making it, action on it's only a few countries that are doing it. And so it needs to have a bit more of a serious implementation, will and also effort to make sure that this type of opportunities are not lost during this period. Because if the fans don't catch the show in ASEAN, they will go to other countries.
Mm-hmm.
They will go to Australia, they will go to either Japan. So it's a loss to the ASEAN tourism.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that the biggest reason why Singapore is doing what they're doing is because of the tourism dollars. And that's the main primary goal. But I think it also helps the spillover effect, to hotels, to F&B, even, there was this research done on the fashion during Taylor Swift concert. There was a spike in people buying a lot of clothes and shoes and those kind of things to go to attend the concert.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very, very in-depth, detailed music industry that contributes to the other industry. And I think the smarter governments, the more innovative governments, they get it quickly. But those who are still, either thinking, oh, should we do this? Should we not do this? So that those are the ones who are actually going to lose out in the end.
So, Mr. Para, perhaps what are your last thoughts regarding ASEAN's concert opportunities?
My last thoughts are not actually actually it's my first thoughts. I just think that we have a beautiful landscape and countries and we culture, and I think there's so much we can offer to the world.
Right.
And I think the most of the times we obviously there is some misinterpretation of this region because of either is the way we communicate, or is lack of communication, or or the infrastructure issues and policy issues, and so I think it's not easy to thread through international tour, because most of these large scale global events, they have got very specific requirements. They got very specific time to complete their shows in this region and then move on to another country. So it's a moving, like Coldplay brings along 200 people, and they move from country to country very quickly and seamlessly. So I think if the governments of ASEAN can come together and create seamless visa for arts, not only for even if an Indonesian artist wants to perform in Malaysia, is a similar process to come and become a performer in Malaysia. I think it's vice versa. So if Malaysia wants to perform also in Indonesia, I think there is. So that's, we all feel that music and arts can be a platform of peace and unity. And if this can be looked at as more, there's some kind of privilege, or there's some kind of special conditions for this to happen, then we can foster the region to be a more united, peaceful, and harmonious region. I think that is the intangible mission. But the tangible mission is, of course, economy. And I think there is a lot we can do to help tourism economy, and also creating jobs opportunities in the industry. Either you're a sound engineer or you're a supplier, or even if you are just a college student that is looking for gigs to go from college from time to time. There is a lot. We hire about 1,000 people every event that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's the same in every ASEAN country, even if it's Singapore, even if it's in Thailand, or it's very similar. This is still a very gig industry, and people today are quite inclined to work in a gig manner. I think they also want to appreciate they have got more time for themselves to travel, or to enjoy life a bit more than the earlier generation, where we are very fixated with going to work 9 to 5, and then also work on Saturday and Sundays, because we have a different culture of work before. So this is the shifting of the new generation, where AI is not even really understood quite deeply, and we don't know what kind of jobs it's going to take away. But I still think I don't think AI will replace a singer or a musician or a dancer, or it can happen, but I think
Yeah, even so, if the experience will be different, lah.
exactly, it's not going to be a natural experience where you can take that away from a human. So I think this is a business where I think it's not going to easily disappear, even with AI or whatever it is. So I encourage every ASEAN government to obviously put make some framework how to improve arts and culture and music in the region.
Right. So there was Mr. Paramanathan Rajagopal, Managing Director of Live Nation. He has shared his thoughts on amplifying ASEAN concert opportunities. So to conclude, definitely ASEAN has the potential to be more than just a concert destination. It can shape the future of the global music industry, but realizing this vision requires strategic investment, stronger regional collaboration, and also a commitment to making live music more accessible. And the stage is set, but the next move is ours. So I'm Farhan Hakimi for ASEAN Kita. See you next time.